What is life in the 40s? It's pretty great. It's just that you probably want to look after yourself on the road to 40. Your 40s are going to be pretty a result of what your 20s and 30s looked like. So do look after yourself, you know, and live a balanced life, you know, preferably career, some social interactions and relationships. Try and be a little bit healthy at least, and you'll have a great 40s. I'm super happy. It's just that if you still live in grandma's basement with your railroad tracks, you know, my train models, yeah, baby, yeah, and you're super fat, you might have a problem. Or not, you know, you might think that's super fun. And I used to be an idiot and think that, I said this only a year ago on this stream, but the purpose, some people live happy like that somehow. Yeah, exactly, B-Time. It's like the purpose of life is to be happy, but I feel like I learn so much all the time, and that is not the purpose of life. Because if you expect to be happy all the time, eventually you will be quite miserable, I think, because you cannot be happy all the time. And if happy is the neutral state, you know, that's what you are, it becomes mundane and everyday, and happiness loses value. Happiness is at its best when it's earned, when you're happy once in a while or like half the time. Then it has value because it's not infinite. So happiness can't be the goal of life. More and more I start to realize, and this is only like the last year, that duty and responsibility is going to be the other half. So happiness, but also duty, responsibility. Be strong enough to look after yourself, but also not only yourself, like other people as well. Maybe raising a kid, you know, or being there for a friend or a relative, being able to support other people. Because that's for sure what we need in society. It's more strong people who can look after other people as well, and who have a sense of like, yeah, responsibility. And then, you know, and a lot of happiness, I think, comes from that. Being able to sustain yourself and other people. So I think those two will go hand in hand, actually, happiness and duty. So it's not only happiness. And I think that's something a lot of the modern generation gets wrong. I'm supposed to be happy all the time and fulfilled, self-fulfillment. But it's like a negative trap. It's almost like a negative spiral trap where it cannot work. If you expect happiness all the time and always look for happiness, always strive for happiness, you'll almost never get there, I think, because that's the wrong conclusion immediately, or the wrong goal. Because you can't be happy all the time. It just doesn't work. I talked about that before, but also like life gets in the way. Things will happen. It's very unfortunate. Like you are most likely going to see your parents get sick. You might see them die even early on, unfortunately, in your life. And you might get sick. You know, health is nothing you can take for granted, or you might lose a job. You might have any career setback, relationship setback. You know, life gets in the way. So I think it's a very modern phenomenon that I want to live as comfortably as possible. I want less responsibility. I think a lot of polls and even scientific data point towards the fact that modern generations want less responsibility, not more. If you jump back a couple of decades, people were not as afraid of responsibility. So I think it's a little bit of a modern thing in social media that happiness is the goal of life. But I just don't think it is. It's going to be a mix of duty, responsibility, and then happiness. Because if you strive only for happiness, it's going to be empty, I think. Everything that's worthwhile in life, you work for. That is the true happiness, I think, and a sense of accomplishment is that you worked for something. So discipline should be there. Life is about balance. Oh yeah, you want all the pillars to be intact. You want the career pillar to be there. You want the relationship pillar to be there. Social relationships with friends and family. You might have a partner, that's another pillar. I mean, you might start a family. Well, we have a social pillar, and then you might go to the gym, you work out, that's also something. All of those combined, or you might have a hobby. You might have Tekken. I mean, all of this together is going to form your life, right? And you want all of those to be there because none of those can be taken for granted. You might get sick, you might lose your job, your partner might dump you. So you can't form your entire life around one of those pillars, because if one of them is to be taken away from you, and you only have one of them, like you're going to have an identity crisis. It's a bit like guys who feel they have nothing in life, but they have a girlfriend. And I used to do this, you know, and you put all of your value into her. And you might even say to yourself, like, I don't like this person too much, but I feel like I don't have a lot in life, so I don't want to lose this person, even if I don't like the person too much. Because this person puts value onto my life. I have a girlfriend, I have something. I don't have a career, I don't work out, I don't have a lot of friends maybe, but I have a girlfriend, right? That means something. You know, I've succeeded in something. And then she dumps you and you realize you have nothing. And now in 200 miles per hour, you hit the rock bottom.
Will you shut up, Hellas Group?
I'm sorry, Nee, it's a sensitive topic for certain people. But yeah, so they always get it right, the people who say that don't, you know, try every day to impress yourself and work on yourself. And make sure those pillars are intact, because all of those pillars help you out when you lose one of them. When you lose one, those 4 others will help you, take you through it. But you don't want to be that person that relies on the one pillar. And that's also why I think you see all of these angry people, for example, on Tekken Reddit or any gaming community. It's a very small and vocal minority, but let's say anytime I've criticized a character, like Xiaoyu, for example, and you can really tell they get like enormously defensive and angry, and you can tell it's like extremely personal. And anytime I see that, I see a person who has the Tekken pillar in their life. You know, they play a lot of Tekken, they identify with their character, and it's like an attack on their character in Tekken is an attack on their identity. And it's almost like they have to look in the mirror a little bit and see, what am I doing here? Someone's criticizing my character and I'm sending messages saying go kill yourself to this person. It's almost like you have to wake up a little bit, take a sniff of that mirror image and say like, why is this happening? You know, why am I reacting like this?